Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bear Cave. I'm Teddy. It's Analyze This Mess. And let me go ahead and check the sound, make sure that it's good. Shout out to the mob, all my other bears I call the Grizzlies. And I wanted to put the stars in the background for, night talk or wow. I'll give it a couple of seconds. And I have my comments up. I can see those on the screen. I have my water and my Gatorade because I imagine we're going to be here at least an hour plus, and it's 9:22, so at least until 10:30. All right. Should I go ahead and get started? All right, I'm someplace cool. I at least have my fan, so I just turned it away a little bit, so you might hear in the background, but you probably don't. All right. Everything that I'm going to say tonight is fair use commentary for education, criticism, news reporting, and analysis also. It is called Analyze This Mess, D for Defendant Files the Long Way. Yes. You know what? Sometimes a court docket tells you more than the arguments inside the filings. Yesterday, should I ask you a question? Let me just pause for a minute. Should the question be, let me think. Was I wrong? Was I wrong? That could apply to at least two groups. So the question, was I wrong about what I said last night? And also, here's one. People have been asking Miss Smith lots of, trying to get information. I, for one, have already said I don't want the information. She's not going to give it to anyone. No. Okay. But if I had to ask a question, it might be the same one I just asked. Was I wrong? Just park that in the back of your mind for a moment. That would be one of the questions. Was I wrong? Did I get it wrong? Like last night, did I get it wrong? And Miss Smith, did I get it wrong? I see Juju with the smiling faces, right? But for all the hopefuls, she didn't have to say that, that she wasn't going to dox the information. I already knew. I just knew for some reason. Now, here's another thing that I heard tonight. And you see, I haven't even gotten into this yet. Not really. I thought I'd pause. Since we're talking about, or since I have D for defendant, I heard the defendant say something that went like this. Say my name, And then it went something like either it was if you can or if you know, or you can't say it. Yes, yes, baby Juju. I had to come up with something creative. Yes, D for defendant files the long way. Okay, so let me get serious here if I can. I did ask you, did I get it wrong last night? Did I get it wrong? Because last night, I believe I told you, and not just last night, I told you the first night. I've told you every time that I've talked about this situation since Friday. I think I've ended with something about, especially last night. I just look for this, or I think I wouldn't be surprised. History tells me this or that. Mhm. I told you I believe something significant was about to happen, and I said I didn't think we were looking at one routine filing. I said I believe the trajectory of this litigation was about to change. Also, well, this morning, the docket proved why. Not one filing, not three, not six, 12 separate docket filings today spanning the United States District Court and the United States Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit. I think when people were talking about it, there's people in the audience. Some probably didn't even realize that the defendant filed in the Court of Appeals. Remember also something that I said? I'm going to remind you. It was like one of those read between the lines. I believe I said something about money. Money. What did I say? Money makes change, or does anyone remember what I said? It was short. Money makes sense. Money makes sense. I didn't say change. I've always said, listen carefully to what I say. 12 separate docket filings. Now, people are going to look at this pacer, and they're going to count off, I believe, 8 or 9. In actuality, when you click on some of the filings, they have sub-filings. For example, ECF 99 has ECF 99 and another filing, ECF 99-1, another part. Okay, so I'm calling all of those separate parts, even with exhibits, everything, a total of 12. What makes 13 is the court. Actually, the Eastern District Court, the lower court, filed a response order. It was so quick. And the appellate court filed a response too. Yes. I mentioned the word emergency. I mentioned the words, stay and motion for this or that. There was something inside of all of those hundreds of pages filed that included, read between the lines, money makes sense. Yes. Think about that for a moment. 12 filings by the defendant, then an order by the lower court, and an rescheduling or setting. When the briefs are due for the appeal, the first brief, because the defendant, as I thought she would, asked for more time to file her appeal brief. And I thought the same reason that she pretty much put in her argument is because she had to spend time, preparing. I said she was going to be spending time. Well, I had no idea exactly how many, filings, but I knew that there were going to be numerous and that she was going to do everything, at least in this first round, as she thought necessary to argue in that case. And we're talking about a separate case, Smith versus Robertson. And no, there has not been a response in my case yet. Okay. So think about it. One coordinated push. Now, before anyone misunderstands what I'm saying, filings are not rulings. A motion is simply a request. Courts grant some motions and deny others, and sometimes grant only in part of what is requested. The judge in this case, in the lower court, in the district court, denied all of the defendant's motions that she filed. There were 4, but there was a lot more in there. And, well, I'm going to show you the pacer when I get to it. So tonight is not about predicting, who wins, because this isn't over yet. This is not over yet. In the lower court, there are still motions that are sitting in front of the court, and the judge mentioned such motions. Let's not forget, 60B. All right. I think it's about recognizing strategy, because what interests me isn't whether Daniel Robertson ultimately prevails on these filings. No. It's why this strategy was chosen and why it was chosen now. So we're going to take a look at these. Yeah. Most litigants, when they're filing, it might be one motion. But this was a situation that at least the defendant thought that it was necessary to file the motions and the other filings that she did. What we have watched is what appears to be, this is my opinion, an entire litigation strategy unfold almost simultaneously, because you'd have to look through them with a little bit more, just step back, way back. There were emergency motions. There were notices. There were proposed orders. There were sworn statements in the declaration. There were requests involving existing stay orders. There was a filing, as I mentioned, in the Sixth Circuit requesting an extension of the appellate briefing schedule until August the 28th. That was granted. And yeah, one thing I've learned from being involved in this litigation that I'm in and just studying a little bit more of these federal procedures and filings is that often the procedure tells the story before the merits ever do. So that's what I'm going to be talking about and showing. I'm not going to read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages. No. I've already told you that the judge denied the defendant. However, there was directions of what she could properly file next, a motion for contempt. And as sure as she received that information, I think she's going to file that motion if she hasn't already done so. Yeah. So why is someone asking the court for this specific relief right now? Think about this. Well, I don't want to say it, but there's a song I play. I told you so.
So don't you tell me I am selfish just because I look out for myself. I've been happy, working hard, so I won't have to cry when I'm older. I could have done this or that. I remember when I used to. Don't do it 'cause it doesn't work. I'd rather tell her, shoot your shots. I did it, so I know you got this. We're all living one manifest. You'll get your dreams, just do your best. So don't you tell me I am helpless just because I'm searching for myself. I've been happy, working hard, just so I can say I told you so. I told so. I don't need your approval to be myself. I got that on myself. Gracefully, gotta keep it cozy. I'ma take it slowly, one step at a time till my time is up. Why you stay mad at me? We gon' make mistakes, we gon' disagree. Are you so proud of me? If you just wait and see, you gon' rise. So don't you tell me I am selfish just because I look out for myself. I've been happy, working hard, so I won't have to cry when I'm older. I could've done this or that. I remember when I used to. Don't do it cause it doesn't work. I'd rather tell you, shoot your shots. I did it, so I know you got this. We're all living for manifest. You'll get your dreams, just do your best. So don't you tell me I am helpless just because I'm searching for myself. I've been happy, working hard, just so I can say I told you so. I told you so.
Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but what I do have is history. And it's been a long history, I think. But what you are looking at is the PACER documents or docket. And the last time the judge before today, the court made an order, it was June the 5th. So look at the dates when these motions came in. ECF 98, filed on the 13th, entered because of it was apparently filed on Sunday, or was it Monday? Let's see. Yes, it would have been filed on Monday, the 13th, and entered in the docket, and you see terminated on the same day. So response, the order, it was terminated and or denied. All right. ECF 99, same dates, 100, 101, 102, 3, 4, 5, 106. You can see there were motions for a temporary restraining order, another motion, declaration notice. I'm going to show you exactly what these were, and I have them lined up. ECF 98, there it is. Defendant's notice regarding pending ECF number 82 and requests for indicative ruling pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 62.1. I'm not going to be reading any of these in depth. I think I am going to read her declaration and some of the things that I think were significant. All right. Let's see. This one, 16 pages. The next one, ECF 99. It was defendant's motion to enforce ECF numbers 93 and 97 for written order to show cause, sworn subpoena accounting, sanctions, and prohibition of further enforcement discovery. The next one, ECF, this is 99-1, proposed order directing written show cause response, sworn subpoena accounting, and cessation of all enforcement discovery. 4 pages. Again, a proposed order she wrote for the court. ECF 100, Declaration of Danielle Robertson. I am going to read this one. It's, I believe this is just a lot of, I won't call it bullet points, numbers, so it should be pretty quick. Yes. Because in this declaration, you'll get a sense as an outline what she's thinking here. I, Danielle Robertson, declare under penalty of perjury, 28 USC 1746. 1. I am the improperly named defendant in this action. 2. I have never received advance notice or a copy of the original Google subpoena. 3. I have never received advance notice or a copy of any renewed, amended, reissued, transferred, converted, registered, or domesticated Google subpoena. 4. I have never received the complete Google production. I'm going to pause just for a moment. I've also heard somewhere today, someone wants to know what was in those documents that were sent by Google to the plaintiff. Someone wants to know, and here she's saying, I have never received the complete Google production. Did she receive anything from Google? I just pause. 5. I do not know every request contained in the operative subpoena. 6. I do not know every file Google produced to plaintiff. 7. I do not know every category of information contained in those files. 8. I do not know whether plaintiff or another person has accessed additional files that were not displayed publicly. 9. Hang on. Just moving around my glasses. Let's take a look at this next one. 9. On July 10th, 2026, I viewed and preserved plaintiff Kimberly Smith's public live stream titled, Happy Friday, This Is Gonna Be a Good One. 10. During that live stream, plaintiff displayed Google branded correspondence, Google legal support communications, a mobile device screen, and numerous printed pages that she represented were part of Google's response to the subpoena. Also, I should say, and I think I've said it in my disclaimer, this is fair use commentary. I'm sticking to facts. What I'm reading is on the docket. 11. Screenshots of those displays appear as exhibits A2, A3 through A3E, so A through E, and A-7, A through A-7B. 12. Plaintiff publicly read or described Google's secure portal instructions and stated, "Look, I hurried up and clicked it." Again, by me reading does not mean I agree with what is being said. All right? Or witnessed these things being said or not. I'm just sticking to reading it here tonight. 13. Plaintiff stated that the portal sent her a private file. Plaintiff stated, "I download, backup, did all of that. I also printed it." 15. Plaintiff publicly described possessing account recovery information, telephone information, IP information, device information, and activity, login information, account creation information, subscriber information, and two-step verification information. If you listen to my video from the other night, just in general, I spoke about those parts of information that Google would commonly prepare in a production and send it to someone who served the subpoena. All right. 16. Plaintiff repeatedly stated that Google had given her everything. 17. Plaintiff also stated that she had multiple files, including 9 files, and publicly showed only some of the material. 18. The July 10 broadcast displayed monetization indicators, including $49.99 super chat, exhibit A-6. 19. After learning that plaintiff had obtained Google production, I sent plaintiff a written concurrence request concerning preservation, sequestration, non-disclosure, accounting, and protection of the material. 20. Plaintiff publicly displayed or discussed my communication and threatened broader public filing if I sought court protection. 21. I separately viewed and preserved the Sammy Reacts TV broadcast titled "Surviving Danny Robertson, the Judge, the Juror, and the Executioner of the Black Tea Sector." 22. Plaintiff appeared as a participant in that separate interview. 23. During the interview, plaintiff stated, "That's not what I'm trying to do because it is a stay." 24. Plaintiff acknowledged that additional discovery would violate the stay. 25. Plaintiff answered no when asked whether the court knew Google had answered. 26. Plaintiff later stated, "Go ahead on file." I'm going to read it exactly the way it's written. "Go ahead on file. You file that. I got that Google. You go right ahead, and I'm going to attach all the Google documents to Pacer, and everybody can see what I see." 27. Plaintiff further stated that filing the documents was how everybody would know who I was, and that she was definitely going to attach it. 28. I understood those statements as a threat that seeking court protection would trigger wholesale public disclosure of the Google production and information capable of identifying or targeting me. 29. After first viewing only limited portions of plaintiff's public display, I posted a members only community message stating that my real name, telephone number, and address did not appear to have been disclosed. That statement, 30, that statement was based only on the limited portions plaintiff had publicly shown. I did not possess the subpoena or production. As I'm reading through this, you might imagine the questions, or that some questions come to mind. Again, listen carefully. Good evening, Bush babies out there. All are welcome. You can drop in the Bear Cave and put a comment, but as long as you're respectful and mindful of the words that you use. Did I leave off on 29? After first viewing only limited portions of plaintiff's public display, I posted a members-only community message stating that my real name, telephone number, and address did not appear to have been disclosed. All right. 30. That statement was based only on the limited portions plaintiff had publicly shown. I did not possess the subpoena or production. I had read that earlier. 31. After further review, and after plaintiff stated that she possessed multiple files and had not shown everything, I promptly edited or replaced the post. In the corrected post, I stated, I have not confirmed that my legal name, telephone number, or residential address was contained in the Google production. She makes a point of that, that there was an edit, a corrected post. Let me just look at this one again. 31. Let's go back to 30. No, I want to see what she said. 29, she said, I'll read it again. After first viewing only limited portions of plaintiff's public display, I posted a member-only community message stating that my real name, telephone number, and address did not appear to have been disclosed. I think I know why she edited that. Because it could be read, it could be thought of in at least one way that I'm thinking about it. So I ask a question. I better, you know what? Let me just keep reading. But I know exactly. I think I know exactly why she edited that. It says, in the corrected post, I stated, I have not confirmed that my legal name, telephone number, or residential address was contained in the Google production. 33. I also stated, at this time, I do not possess the complete production and therefore cannot state exactly what information was produced. 34. True and accurate screenshots of the preliminary and corrected posts appear as exhibits A8A and A-8B. 35. I did not intend the preliminary post to waive any objection concerning the subpoena, Rule 45 notice, the stay, privacy, security, or use of the production. 36. My concern is not limited to whether the production contains my legal name or address. Gonna read that one again. 36. My concern is not limited to whether the production contains my legal name or address. I'm not going to tell you my question. 37. Recovery information associated, telephone information, account associations, log-on information, IP-related information, device activity, two-step verification information, account creation data, and subscriber information are non-public account level information. I'm just going to pause to say, some might think, oh, why am I reading this? One, it's on the docket. Two, although the court denied these motions, this current filing that I'm reading is the defendant's declaration. This is a sworn declaration. This is information. 38. Important information. Public disclosure of those categories may allow third parties to correlate accounts, identify recovery channels, target me with phishing or social engineering, attempt password resets, pursue account takeover, or use the information for harassment and doxing. May allow third parties to correlate accounts. Okay. Identify recovery channels. Importantly, target me with phishing or social engineering. These are her statements. These are her concerns. 39. I am not claiming that every possible cyber attack has already occurred. I am requesting protection before the non-public account information is further disseminated. 40. Once information is placed on Pacer, displayed publicly, downloaded, screen recorded, reposted, or transmitted to other creators, I cannot identify every recipient or retrieve every copy. 41. Exhibit A is a fair and accurate compilation of screenshots I received subject to the captions and enlargements stated in the exhibit. 42. Exhibit B contains the complete available transcripts of the two broadcasts. Automated transcription may contain errors. The preserved audio-visual recordings control. 43. I am familiar with plaintiff Kimberly Smith's appearance and voice from her public broadcasts and recordings associated with this litigation. 44. I identify plaintiff as the person making the statements attributed to her in this declaration. 45. I preserve the recordings and screenshots in substantially the same condition in which I viewed them and have not intentionally altered their meaning or sequence. 46. I prefer that these motions be determined on the papers. 47. If the court determines that a conference is necessary, I request to participate by telephone or video. 48. I do not request an in-person hearing unless the court determines that live testimony is necessary. And she signed it. I declare under penalty of perjury that the foregoing is true and correct. Executed on July 13th. Daniel Robertson respectfully submitted. Okay. Declaration. That was ECF 100. I wanted to read that one. Okay. The next filing was ECF 101. She filed a notice of corrected filing. And let's see what that was for. Defendant Daniel Robertson, appearing pro se, gives notice that the emergency motion for temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction previously submitted on July 13, 2026 contained an inadvertent heading error on the first page. The incorrect heading stated, defendant's notice regarding pending ECF number 82 and requests for indicative ruling pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 62.1. Recall, I read that. That heading was included inadvertently and does not describe the motion. Let's see what it is. The correct heading is corrected defendant's emergency motion for temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction limited to non-public Google subpoena material. She says that the correction is limited to the document heading. No substantive argument, factual assertion, requested relief exhibit, or citation has been changed. The next filing was ECF 102. Again, I won't be reading all of these. This is 12 pages. Just want to read the header. Corrected defendant's emergency motion for temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction limited to non-public Google subpoena material. Let's see what she's doing here. Defendant Daniel Robertson, appearing pro se and preserving all objections and appellate's rights, moves under Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 26C 65 and ED Mish LR 65.1 for immediate, narrowly tailored protection of non-public material obtained from Google LLC through the challenge post-judgment subpoena. I'm not going to read all of this. All right, so then she submits the corrected copy. I get it. The relief requested in this one, preserve and sequester every copy of the Google production. So that's what she wanted. Here it's been denied. We'll get to that. Prohibit further access to the Google portal or retrieval of additional files. Prohibit further disclosure, transmission, display, investigation from or public filing of non-public Google material pending further order. Keep in mind that there is a stay that is in place and that the defendant paid the $10,000 to stay discovery while the appeal is taking place. 4, prohibit all additional post-judgment subpoenas and enforcement discovery while ECF number 93 and 97 remain active, absent prior leave of court. Require preservation of plaintiff's July 10, 2026 live stream and separate Sammy Reacts TV interview. Require plaintiff to identify every recipient of Google produced information. 7, temporarily restrict public access only to video portions that actually display, read aloud, or reveal non-public Google produced information. So I'll just say this, had that been granted, or what she was looking for is to have any videos that showed any information, with Google, to have it either removed or blurred so it couldn't be seen. Establish a protective filing procedure where any material plaintiff contends is genuinely relevant to a court filing. And 9, decide the motion on the papers, or if necessary, conduct any conference. That was 102. 103, defendant's emergency motion regarding newly discovered dissemination for preservation of registry funds and to establish a procedure for compensatory relief. Did I say money makes sense? I don't know. I haven't explained exactly what I meant by that. I'm not going to. I'm not going to tell you everything that I thought was going to be filed, but I did say money makes sense. Let's see here. 29 pages. Establish a procedure for compensatory relief. Let me just look. She's, wow. Oh. So here she's talking about another video, Thug Not, apology to AT2, Danny Robertson manipulative tactic exposed, and Christian Rock. I haven't even seen any of that. Can I read just a little bit of this? Let me kind of scan through. There's a couple of parts there that I find. Well, lots of allegations. I will tell you this. Let's go to the ECF 106, and then I'm going to come back to this. This is ECF 103, and then there's a 103-1, a 103-2, a 104, 105, 106. Let's jump to 106. I believe this is the order, and you'll see why. Let me read this order denying defendants' motions. 98, 99, 102, 103, and I'm reading 103 right now. Okay. On April 15th, and it's just one page plus a signature line, I believe. On April 15th, 2026, this court entered a default judgment and awarded plaintiff $10,000 in damages for her defamation claim, ECF number 6263. There is a properly filed Rule 60B motion for relief from judgment pending, ECF number 82. There is also a stay of execution as defendant posted a proper bond, ECF number 97. Those are the only issues the court is going to deal with. It is not going to referee the history of animosity of these feuding YouTubers. So I'm going to go back to 103 because inside of 103, I can see already what might be characterized as the beginning of some feuding in these filed documents to the court, because within them are included statements by other individuals, content creators, who are not party to the lawsuit, but are other YouTubers and content creators. And I'm just reading what the court has said. It is not going to referee the history of animosity of these feuding YouTubers. If plaintiff has violated the court's stay order, the proper recourse, and that's what I meant earlier, is a motion for contempt. Let me see if I can close the door here. If he starts. Okay, one bark. Oh, the sound you don't. Okay. So where did we leave off the sound? Was it when the dog barked? Just give me a thumbs up or not. So you would have heard, because I wasn't looking at your comments, I was reading this. Okay. I think it would have been, let's go here. Those are the only issues the court is going to deal with. It is not going to referee the history of animosity of these feuding YouTubers. If plaintiff has violated the court's stay order, the proper recourse is a motion for contempt. Expected. That's my reasoning. It's in the order. Proper recourse. That is what I think the defendant will file next. In addition to, there might be something else. Want to talk about that? Can't now. The recently filed emergency motions involving purported harm to defendant from release of information plaintiff allegedly obtained from Google, ECF numbers 98, 99, 102, 103 are denied. If defendant wishes to assert claims against plaintiff, she may do so in a separately filed lawsuit. The court reminds the parties that in federal civil litigation, allowing a party to proceed pseudonymously is the exception, not the rule. EEOC versus Care Center Management Consulting, Inc., number 12-207, 2012, Westlaw 4215-748 at 3 ED, Tennessee, September 18, 2012. So ordered. Oh. A reminder, allowing a party to proceed pseudonymously is the exception. So the court is saying, the court made an exception here. It was not the rule. I'll just read it. I just read it and basically repeat it with little, interesting. All right, so we jump back to 103. I'm not going to read all of this either. The court's not going to referee it. It's been denied. But there are some very interesting things in here that will remain part of the record, no doubt. Okay, let's see. Defendant is maintaining records of actual out-of-pocket expenses associated with transcript preparation, copying, digital storage, evidence preservation, other measures. Defendant does not request compensation for her own pro se legal time. Defendant also does not request a speculative lump sum award. Defendant requests a liability determination followed by an opportunity to submit an itemized statement and supporting documentation of actual losses. Let's see. She talks about plaintiffs monetize the disclosure. She itemizes it here. The preserved July 10, 2026 broadcast displayed approximately 3,606 views and included repeated prompts to like, subscribe, and donate, visible super chats, public acknowledgments of financial contributions. The displayed super chats included, and she goes on to itemize these: $99.99, $50, $49.99, $20, $19.99, $5, and $4.99, etc. She talks about further, cash apps and things. The registry funds should remain preserved. Defendant does not presently ask the court to cancel or automatically reduce the judgment. Defendant asks that the $10,000 presently held in the court registry remain preserved while the court determines: 1, whether plaintiff violated ECF numbers 93, 97. The court has said that those issues, or she's said what issues she is going to review, the others not so much. Whether plaintiff engaged in sanctionable misuse of compulsory process, whether the proven conduct caused compensable losses, the amount of any compensatory award, and whether any resulting award may lawfully be applied against funds otherwise distributable to plaintiff. So there was some ask here related to compensatory. Premature distribution could require defendant to begin separate collection proceedings to recover a later compensatory award. Preservation would maintain the status quo while the court decides the pending and newly presented issues. I'm not going to go through all. Wow, this is 29 pages. There's a lot in here. All right, let's go to 103-1. How are we doing with time? I've been on for, 113. It's 10:34. Think I'm doing okay? Let me just pause for a moment and at least look at some of your comments and see if I should address. By the way, you can email me right now at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. I'm limited to what I can say or should say. I want to stick with the facts. I'm reviewing by reading some very, very limited amount of content of what was filed by the defendant on yesterday and today. Let me just do this. Remove that. Hang on for a second. Let me look at your comments and then I'll set it right back up. Doing great? Okay, thank you. Melissa says, in other words, Again, all opinions and things that I choose to read are your opinion. Melissa says, in other words, hold the money till the wheels fall off and literally every avenue has been exhausted. Your opinion? I'm just going from the bottom up. Ebeza says, don't think the judge originally saw this as a feud. But by definition, it means a long lasting conflict. So maybe it's nothing. We have seen judges get really annoyed with these cases. Just reading a comment before I put it up. Again, I'm limited to what I might respond to, because, one, it's a separate case, and limited to, speculating what something that would it be plausible? There's a lot of things that are plausible. I'll just read that and that's kind of my response to it. Melissa says, so am I on the right track when I think one of her intentions was with this to stifle and disconnect any links between her DR YouTube presence and information given by Google a few days ago? Can't say what her intentions are, except what she has noted in either videos or her statements. We read through the declaration. There's things that I really think that I know. A motion for contempt is coming. Yeah, that's kind of like a given. Let's see. It would be expected, highly expected. Well, the court did say, she can file a lawsuit. So talking about the defendant would have to file, if she thinks there's been harm, any wrong done, she would need to pursue her own lawsuit. Right now, she's anonymous. And I've heard her say, and I have videos, she said she's not going to sue while she's anonymous. Well, she has said a lot of things. Let's go on and go back to this. This was 114 pages. This is ECF 103-1. a notice regarding purpose of transcript. This transcript is submitted solely to establish republication, amplification, threats, monetization, audience response, defendants resulting preservation, and mitigation burdens. The accusations and characterizations made by third-party speakers are disputed and are not offered for their truth. Defendant expressly denies the identity theft, fraud, felony, money laundering, and other criminal allegations contained in the recording. So she documents these transcripts, puts a link to a YouTube video. Thug Knot. This is 114 pages. I am not going to review any of this video or this transcript. I'm just going to, there's a lot in here. I'm just trying to, let me just do it like this because I don't know what I might run into. Hang on, let me just put this up for a second. Don't want my channel be struck. This is public record document, though. Still. He shows, or she shows, also all about the trees. So we got Donat, Ricketts, all about the trees. Looks like there's a station head. We the people. Wow. I don't know. I guess somewhere else. Some vidIQ. There's other. Cultivate with Kai. I'm just going to tell you some of these. Thumbnails, post. This is 114 pages. Some of this I'm seeing for the first time, so that's why I'm being cautious. More clips or posts from the plaintiff from her Happy Friday video. Also, it shows the chat and highlighting super chats. It's full of the chats information. I mean, you can see them. You know what? I'll just scan through it quickly. I won't pause. I'm just going to quickly, and then let's see, just so you can get a flavor. Okay. I didn't show you this one. Okay. The next filing is ECF 103-2. Let's see how many pages. It's 11 pages. I'll let you see the title. It is the order regarding defendant's emergency motion concerning newly discovered dissemination, preservation of registry funds, and procedure for compensatory relief. So she drafted an order for the court. And what is she looking for here? All right, let's go to the next one. ECF 104. This was an index of exhibits new dissemination. How many pages is it? 115 pages. I'm not going to read them. Let's go. Let's go to the next one. This is ECF 105. Exhibits and transcripts for emergency temporary restraining order. Hang on. Request and motion to enforce stays and for show cause. 253 pages. Let me just scan this just to see what's in it. Here she says defendant does not designate this address, and that's the one in Phoenix. For service of process, this exhibit contains screenshots authenticated by the declaration, one that I read of Daniel Robertson. Images remain unaltered except for proportional resizing. Any cropped image is identified as enlarged excerpt, and complete screenshot is also included. Let's see what I can. Wow. Not going to show all this. I can tell you, excuse me, what it is. It's exhibits of Miss Smith's videos of Sammy Reacts TV. It contains edited community posts from the defendant, from her members only. Let's see that one. This is her edited one. Danny Robertson and reads, just to clarify everyone's concerns, I have not confirmed that my legal name, telephone number, or residential address was contained in the Google production. Keep in mind, this is the edited and sworn to. The registration information associated with the accounts may also contain self-reported or incorrect information. Interesting. I'm reading this for the first time. The registration information associated with the accounts may also contain self-reported or inaccurate information. That does not make the records public or eliminate the privacy and procedural issues. At this time, I do not possess the complete production and therefore cannot state exactly what information was produced, whether additional technical records were included when each file was made available, or when the recipient accessed or downloaded it. My concern is the legal process. Google records appear to have been produced after a court-ordered stay of execution and enforcement was already in effect. I contend that the continued pursuit, receipt, retrieval, or use of enforcement-related records during that stay was improper. I also dispute whether the advance notice required for a third-party document subpoena was provided. These matters will be presented to the court for determination. Nothing in this statement waives my obligations concerning privacy notice, the subpoena, the court order stay, or any relief available to me. Please do not contact, threaten, or harass anyone involved. I will handle the matter through the proper legal process. So this is what she wrote on her members. This is the first time I'm reading this. This was posted by Danny Robertson, clarifying uncertainty about the contents of Google production, discussing court-ordered stay and third-party subpoena notice, and so forth. Let's see what else is in here. More transcripts. It's 200 and what did I say? 253 pages. I'm just kind of scanning through. I'm not reading these hundreds of pages. It's a lot. She included detail transcripts, line by line, the entire transcript record, each identified pretty much each statement individually, numbered, or identified, time stamped. So that's why it's so many pages. and captioned. Wow. Hang on. This is long because, again, it's line by line by line by line. Wow. Let's see if I can roll it faster. Three hours, 4 hours, 5. And other videos. Hang on. I mean, she included the entire transcripts, whether it was related to this matter or not. So instead of, pulling out transcript related, she transcribed and posted or filed everything. Conversations, everything that was said on the video. Everything. All the people on panels, so just just everything. I'm just looking at some of this. It's even notation form, the music, but it's all here. Oh, what is this part? Whose video is this? Hang on, there are multiple videos. Just trying to. Because it's everything in here, I wouldn't even know it. Parts of the script or transcript is unrelated. There's I don't even know whose videos, but there's shout outs, people's names, Rich, Val. It's just a lot of different people. Another video. Okay. The court decided, it's not going to referee any of this. I'm talking about, any of these feuding disputes, all of these arguments that are within this 253 pages plus, and all of the others. Every content creator that you might think comes to mind that's on different panels during the past several days that may have been related to discussion. I'll just put it that way, of this topic. Not all, but many of them. Okay. Let's see. The next one, it's 11 o'clock. We're getting close. This is the filing motion. Let's see it. This was filed in the Sixth Circuit. Appellant's motion for additional 30-day extension of time to file principal brief, and that too was granted. She asked for 30 days, it appears, from July 29 to August 28th, and the court granted that. So everything in the appeals court now has been pushed out. And there is that signature. That same appears to be signature in the appeals court. The same, it looks like very, very, very indistinguishable signature. And then I've already read this one. The order denying defendant's motions. To give you a sense of, 12 filings, some were corrected, lots of exhibits, a declaration I read, and the order coming from the court within hours, denying all motions. Yeah. This one will surely be continued, but I wanted to read through some of it for myself as well, because it gives me just a little insight of what the thought process was going on this weekend with the defendant in the other case, and her arguments that she formulated. I'm not here to say what's true or not true, what's not argue on the merits, any of it. Just share it with you because there is an interest. Yeah. Let me look at your comments, and I've learned some things. I have. The production of records, whatever was produced, they're with one party. The defendant said she doesn't have those records. So even she doesn't know, according to her filings here, she doesn't know. She said what was actually produced and what records the plaintiff has. She said something like, say my name, say my name. This is paraphrasing, if you can. What do you think she meant by that? A net cyber attack, that's was a good one. If someone wasn't served properly, jurisdiction wasn't settled. Who's responding to any of this? You notice there were certain wording of just different things. Yeah. That an attorney, a legal individual would have to, really review these to thoroughly interpret these. What the legal consequences, if any, but the court clearly stated here, if plaintiff has violated the court's stay order, the proper recourse is a motion for contempt. The recently filed emergency motions involving purported harm to defendant from release of information plaintiff allegedly obtained from Google, and then all of these numbers, ECF 98, 99, 102, 103, are denied. And she makes clear, this Judge Mickelson, Lori Mickelson, at the beginning, the two motions, or this motion 60B, motion for relief, is before the court. That's ECF 82. And the stay of execution, that defendant posted a proper bond, this $10,000, ECF number 97. Those are the only issues the court is going to deal with. Everything else. Now, she did say a motion for contempt. She's talking about what was filed so far. Yeah. Let me go ahead and check the community wall, and then we're going to wrap this up. I appreciate all of you joining me tonight for this kind of a overview of what was filed, in not in depth, but just showing you what was filed and what possibly is coming up. Yeah. And nothing more in my case yet. Give me a moment. I'm going to check email. Then I will be right back. All right, so I've checked my email. I appreciate everyone who is checking in or just, saying hello. Let me go ahead and look at your comments just one more time, and then I'm going to say goodnight. Just quickly look to see if there's anything else out there. And Bush Babies, thanks for hanging out. Bush Babies, yeah. I started that. Bush Babies. It is a fair and balanced assumption to make that this isn't the judge's only case, of course. Maybe it's just me, but I don't think I'd go this far filing motions and so forth. Seems pretty excessive. I will just say this. In my case, and the history shows that this would be expected. Yeah. That's why I expected there were going to be multiple filings. Didn't know it was going to be this much. And I wonder, I said she's going to be busy over the weekend. That was a lot to put together, even if it's Chat GBT. Still, putting it all together, going through it, editing, I suppose, all of it, thinking through it, pulling the documents, pulling the exhibits. That's a lot, right? And still, she asked for 30 days extension to file her brief. All right. And she got that. So delayed. But this one was asked. So a reasonable ask. The way she argued it. I didn't read it to you, but her argument apparently made a lot of sense to the appellate court because they had denied one extension before. And this time they came back and responded the same day and extended it. So her argument, apparently, the court decided it was justifiable and they granted it. That's all I can say there. Yeah. Just sticking to the facts. There are a lot of questions that come to mind reading this, reading what her concerns are with the Google subpoena. I'm not going to really get into it because before the court in my case is a motion for leave to serve limited subpoenas on Google as third party and other cash. So this, I see things already that she's concerned about. I'm not going to give any. I just see a lot here. She, says accounts. There's some corrections that are being made. there's some things in here that are definitely interesting. Yeah. What is this? Before I go back to barbecuing, does that mean it's not me knows the name someone have? Again, just another. She doesn't, she's saying that she doesn't, well, she's swore in her declaration that she doesn't, she wasn't given the information, right? That she doesn't, she said a lot in this declaration. You listen, look at it closely. What she's swearing to, what's sworn to in this declaration. Where's not going to go over the whole thing, but as a reminder, sometimes you read things and you need to go back. I'll go back on my. See. I have never received the complete Google production. I have never received the complete Google production. So a person could ask a question, because these statements is that absolutely, like, have you received incomplete Google production of a subpoena? Would that even be reasonable to ask? I don't know. I'm just going off. These are her statements. This isn't a this isn't discovery. Those kind of questions and raised by those all these, there's lots and lots of questions that could be asked, but that's discovery. I do not know every file Google produced. Well, that's the reason, because if she doesn't know, so she doesn't know what she doesn't know, and that's what she's saying. Like, again, this is my opinion, why she wants to protect these documents, because she doesn't know what is in them per se that was given to the plaintiff. She is anonymous, and everyone else is anonymous. She's anonymous to us. Listen to what I'm saying. She's anonymous to all of us, right? That I'll say she's anonymous to me still, all right? And I believe she's anonymous to everyone else, except based on what was said in these documents. I can't say. She's saying, was she? Some things were corrected. Her name wasn't. She's not saying her name was there. I'd have to go back and, read it exactly what she said to, on her post, why she made corrections, what she's saying in her declaration. She doesn't know whether the plaintiff or another person has access additional. So she doesn't know what she doesn't know, especially about these documents. Um, all she knows is what she knows on this, that she's putting in this declaration. She's stating what she believes and thinks, and also what she doesn't know. She has told us what she's concerned about. Let me put this up. And just, I have to temper, everything that I say. So that's why it may take a long time to formulate a question. If her name isn't on these documents, and she said, you have to read carefully what she said. Some of it's left to interpretation. The way the statements are written, some of it's left to, you don't know what you don't know. You can't make assumptions. I'm not making any assumptions. Hi, Tanika, member for 5 months. Welcome back. If the names that were filed on these documents are misinformed or incorrect, I'm not saying that they are. We would have to go back to what she said. I can't discern. But Google has records. And they've been, authenticated? I read from what is commonly given from Google. These are authenticated records. They're true and real records that were sent to the plaintiff. We don't know what she's received of any of those parameters, but whatever she's received is been authenticated. And if the records aren't real records, then someone might ask why the concern. I'm not making a statement either way. I'm just saying, because I know she's listening for everything that I say too. I'm not going to give her anything. No, I don't have anything. I haven't received records. I'm still asking the court for leave to serve Google myself. I said, analyze this mess. D for defendant files the long way. This is also the long game. This is not for the faint of heart. And for an anonymous person, I'm going to be careful to say this, any anonymous person, to say something isn't accurate, isn't real, isn't this or isn't that, until you know you don't know. So based on history, I don't have to believe if a person says that's not them. It's not. I don't have to believe that. Right now it's not for me anyway because I don't have any records. I don't know what's on those records, and I'm telling you, I don't want to know by any other person. I don't want to be contacted. No, I don't want to put my case in jeopardy at all. No, no, no. So you can be certain that as much as the court wants her name, everything has to be done legally, right? I'm not saying what can or can't be done. I'm just saying everything needs to go through the court, be done properly. She's not going to catch me. Oh no. Not even close. Now, we've already, there's been years of talk of who she, talk of her anonymity. I'll just say that. Dissent and in order. And the question that I'm not asking, I don't want to answer, did I get it wrong? Would be one of my questions. Did I get it wrong? Also, let me tell you this. Thank you, Vicki. That is exactly. I have so many thoughts on this that I have not even shared. We definitely don't want a mistrial. Not as hard as I've worked. Oh no. I got too much into this. Please. I don't know. The court, in my case, has asked for the mask to come off. So there's an order already. We need her name. Okay. And her legal address. No. I was going to say this. I've already said it. Don't expect. People have asked, give a little hint, this or that. No. Oh gosh, I want to give you something like read between the line. Daniel Robertson. Let's just say this. The defendant has said that Daniel Robertson is not her legal name. I can say that, right? Daniel Robertson has said Daniel Robertson is not her legal name. It's written throughout my case from the jump street. Somebody that's on a bicycle, their name is Daniel Robertson. I'm not going to say too much. Just put this, listen carefully. Daniel Robertson is not her legal name. There's somebody that's on a bicycle whose legal name is Daniel Robertson. Genie in the bottle. I'll just say genie in the bottle, and that's one phrase. I will say I'm trying to get another now. What is that song? Oh, all right. I'll play one song. Don't you know that fill in the blanks would be, see if I can play this song. Then I'll let you fill in all the blanks. Genie in the bottle. Don't you think blank, blank, blank. And then where's my, sorry, I was looking for Spotify. All right. You fill in the blanks, think about the lyrics, just certain lyrics. Find it. Sweet. Hang on. Wouldn't you know, this thing is frozen. I don't hear it. I have to play it through something else. If I can find it, I can't get rid of this screen. How about that? All right, we're going to try this again. Oh, this is why. Wait a minute. Wrong song. Hang on. Let me find the song. This is just music while I'm finding it. All right. So I told you genie in a bottle. And don't you know if it were blank, blank? She said, I can't hide it. You wouldn't be able to hide that excitement. Just can't hide it. Well, it's time to say goodnight. If you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, or if you enjoyed this video, just give us a thumbs up. I appreciate again all my moderators and you, the honeybears and the grizzlies. But now it's time to say goodnight. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.
Said you needed space. Said you needed more time to think. So you went away. But you still would stay in my dream. Now you're back for more. Why you in my reality? My head closed the door. Even though my heart just won't leave. That was then, can't go back. Hurts so bad, had to block out the memory. If we try again, start from scratch. You wanna pick up where we left off, but you've been gone away. You've been gone away so long. Since you've been gone away, you've been gone away so long. I forgot your middle name, I forgot your birthday. You still wear cologne the same, like it in the worst way. You've been gone away. Since you've been gone away, you've been gone away. 50-11 days, 50-11 days, 50-11. I lost count of all of the weeks that you have your way. Wouldn't pick a fight when you'd leave. Now you're back for more. Did you find the healing you see? Or did you realize that I'm everything that you need? That was there. So bad. Had to block out the memory. Yeah. Started from scratch. You wanna pick up where we left off, but you've been gone away. You've been gone away so long. You've been gone. Since you've been gone away, you've been gone away so long. I forgot your middle name, I forgot your birthday. You still wear cologne the same, love it in the worst way. You've been gone away. Since you've been gone away, you've been gone away. I forgot your middle name, I forgot your birthday, your favorite position. Do we still have chemistry? Yeah. Since you've been gone away so long.